Hi, everyone, welcome to Style3D channel. In this video, you will learn how to create fabric with a gold thread texture. First, drag the scanned fabric texture map into Photoshop. We will process the seamless texture in Photoshop. Begin by cropping a portion of the image to serve as the foundation for the seamless texture. Open the ruler with Ctrl+R. Long press the left mouse button to create a guide from the ruler bar, and move the guide to the appropriate position. Ensure that the pattern repeats within the guide frame. Then, use the rectangular selection tool for the next step. First, press Ctrl+C, then press Ctrl+N to create a new canvas of the same size as the selection. After that, press Ctrl+V to paste the previously selected portion into the new canvas. Duplicate the layer. Choose the offset option under the filter menu. Adjust the parameters according to your preferences, then click OK. You will notice visible seams in the image. Next, we need to address these seams to create a more natural transition. Select the Clone Stamp tool. Hold down the Alt key and click the left mouse button to sample the original color. Use the square bracket keys to adjust the size of the stamp. Then, systematically adjust each seam by stamping over them. This process requires continuously sampling new base colors to achieve a more natural transition. The next steps are the same, and this process demands patience. I'll skip this part in the video, since it involves repetitive actions. We can see that the seams have been successfully addressed. Increase the contrast and brightness to make the threads more distinct. Create a group and name it Diffuse Map. Next, let's create the Alpha Map. Create another group and name it Transparent Map. Choose the brightness/contrast option and increase both the contrast and brightness. Duplicate the brightness/contrast layer to enhance the effect. The purpose of this step is to clearly distinguish between the transparent and opaque parts of the fabric. Finally, add a black and white effect to desaturate the image. The effect looks good, but the transparency in the gold thread part needs manual adjustment. Create a new layer, set the foreground color to white, press B to open the brush tool, and start painting along the direction of the gold thread. Hold down Shift and click the mouse to draw straight lines. Repeat these steps, and we'll speed up the video. This completes the black and white transparency map. Here, I feel the texture is still not bright enough. Therefore, I created a new layer, filled it with white, chose the soft light blending mode, and then reduced the opacity. Next is the creation of the metalness map. Start by creating a new group named Metal Map. Inside the group, add a layer and press B to open the brush tool. Use white to cover the existing gold thread areas, which are the parts with the highest metalness. Follow the same method to paint the remaining areas. Let's speed up the video for this part as well. Continue by adding another layer, set the foreground color to black, and use the shortcut Alt+Delete to fill the layer with black. That completes the metalness map. Hold Ctrl and click on the layer that covered the gold thread with white. Press Alt to sample the color of the gold thread. Create a new layer in the diffuse map group, fill it with gold color, set it to soft light blending mode, and reduce the opacity. This is done to enhance the brightness of the gold thread and make it more dazzling. Here, I feel the color in the gaps of the threads in the diffuse map is too dark. So, let's display the transparency map group. Turn off the effects in the diffuse map group. Then, in the Select menu, click on Color Range and sample the white area. This way, you can select all the white areas. Select the original base color layer. Press Ctrl+J to duplicate the color, removing the color from the gaps in the threads. Create a new layer below it, sample a slightly gray color, and fill the layer with that color. Here, I found that after adding the white layer, the overall brightness is too high. Therefore, I decided to delete it. Now we can export the diffuse map. Change the export format to JPG, keeping the options at their default settings. Save the PSD file again. Then, open the transparent map group, check the effect of the transparency map, and export it. Next, open the metal map group and export the metalness map. Our textures are now ready. Next, let's proceed to the Style3D to test the 3D display and rendering effects. In the Scene option, open the Prop folder. Import a sphere model. Use the Rectangle tool to create a square pattern. Hold down Shift to draw a perfect square. Place it above the sphere. Click on the sphere, and in its property editing window, check Collide and Frozen. Press the space bar to open the simulation. Select the plane and lower its particle distance value. Simulate again, and you should see the fabric becoming smoother. Drag the recently created diffuse map onto the fabric. Click OK. Then import the metalness map and choose the metalness map option. Next, find the transparent map, drag it onto the fabric, and select the transparent map option. You should see the fabric's transparency being correctly displayed. Change the color of the sphere to black for better visibility of the fabric effect. In the material library, add any piece of clothing. Remember to choose Add for the load type and uncheck Scene. Add the textures we created earlier to the clothing. Disable the display of color 3D. Then, in the fabric window, click on the fabric to enter the property editing window. You can check the Use Auto-Generated Normal Map option and adjust the values to achieve the desired effect. However, we can see that the transparency display around the collar of the clothing is not correct. This issue may be due to problems with transparency in the standard rendering mode. Try switching to ray tracing rendering mode to see if it resolves the issue. If everything looks fine, you can delete the clothing. Open the offline render window in the toolbar. Adjust the rendering parameters and set the save location and file name. Check the fabric effect in the rendering window. If everything is satisfactory, click the Final button to render the image. Great to hear that the results are satisfactory. Now, to save the fabric as an SFAB file, click on the fabric, and in the Property window, click on Save. That's it guys, and I hope some of the tips will help your modeling work. If you like what we do, please liking, commenting and sharing this video. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you in next video. Goodbye.